Hello and welcome to the session 2 on image classification using convolution neural network. So in my first session you had already seen how to import the libraries. Also you had seen how to import the packages for TensorFlow as well as for Keras. And in phase 1, session 1, you had seen how to call the class called image data generator and how to apply the feature scaling techniques as well as the image augmentation to avoid overfitting, right? Similarly, later on you just fit the train data gen to the training set what you had used by giving the proper path as well as giving the target size of the image to 64 cross 64 and by sending only 32 images in each single batch, and the class mode you had selected as binary as we deal with the binary outcomes. Same procedure has also been followed with the test data generation. But the only thing what we have changed here is we are left out with the image augmentation procedure because we would like to keep the test data with intent to the original image, and we had applied only the feature scaling technique here, correct? And finally we had initialized our CNN model, and we had also added a first convolution layer from tf.keras.layers module using conv2d by giving 32 feature detectors or filters with the kernel size 3 cross 3. Activation function what we had applied was ReLU rectified linear unit, and the input shape was given 64 cross 64 cross 3, as 64 cross 64 stands for the target size and 3 since we are using the color image. And finally we had applied the max pooling for the convolution layer. So this is what was taught in my session 1. Now we will add our second convolution layer. I do it by simply copying and pasting these two set of codes, and I paste it again. But the only few things I need to remember that I need to remove this input shape here. So this one line has to be removed because we actually it has been entered only when we add our very first layer in order to connect to the first layer, to the input layer, correct? So we do not require it in the second convolution layer, right? So this we are done with the second convolution layer, and finally we are also applied with the max pooling here, correct? So the max pooling again with the pool size 2 and with the strides also equals to 2. Now let's move on to the next step called as flattening. As you all know, the flattening will consist of the results of all these convolutions and poolings. We are just converting it into a one-dimensional vector which will become the input to the future fully connected neural networks, correct? So now we are going to implement the flatten layer. So again, as simple, we are going to call the CNN object. We do it using CNN, and from which we call again the method add method, right? So we do it and we'll create an instance of certain class from the layers module called as flatten, right? Which has no argument. So we do it using tf.keras.layers. From this particular module we call a class called as flatten, done, which has no arguments here, right? So this simply implements the flattening layer, and we can directly move on to the next step called fully connection, correct? So now we have to add a new fully connected layer to that flattened layer, which is now nothing else the one-dimensional vector that will become the input of a fully connected neural network, correct? So now let's do this implementation as usual by calling again a CNN object from which we call a method called as add, again because we are adding a full connected neural network layer, correct? So here we'll create an instance of class called as dense class from the same layers module, right? So we do it using tf.keras.layers. From this particular module we are going to call a new class called as dense, okay? Remember this particular class, and it has few parameters which we need to write, okay? just need to give parameters for that. Yes, done. So now let's see what all parameters we are going to give it for the dense class here. So we will give few parameters like units and activation. So there are two parameters to be given. One is units and the activation. Okay, so here when I say units, so what is the value I need to give it here? The value what you are going to assign it for the unit is a number of hidden neurons which you want to have it into this fully connected layer. Okay, and since I'm dealing with the computer vision, so I choose a layer, a larger layer or a larger number of hidden neurons. For example, I take 128 hidden neurons, and I give the activation function again as relu itself, right? Because as we are not reached the output layer, so the next argument will be the activation, and I give it as relu itself. Done. Okay, so this adds our fully connected layer, and finally the last step what we need to implement is the output layer, which is still be fully connected to our previous layer, and we gonna call the dense class again. Okay, so what we do means I just copy and paste this particular line, and I change a few modifications with respect to that. So now I'm going to add a output layer. Okay, so instead of 128 hidden neurons, I required only one output layer because we are dealing with the binary outcome. So I required only one outcome, yes or no, and the activation function, as I already told you, I'm going to use a sigmoid because as I'm dealing with the binary classification problems. However, if you were doing or you are dealing with any kind of multi-class classification problems, you can make use of softmax activation function also. Okay, since this study is focusing on binary classification, I am using the activation function as sigmoid as of now. So this is the changes what you have to do for the dense class. So this completes with building your CNN model. Now we are ready with the brain. Now it's time to compile our CNN model. Then we will try to train and evaluate the test set. After that we'll go for the prediction. Okay. So let us compile the convolution neural network now. Again we gonna take a same object CNN, via which we call a method called as compile. So we call this method compile, which will take input as a optimizer. So the optimizer what we are preferring here is an ADAM, because it is highly preferred in deep learning models, and it is an optimization algorithm. So we will also prefer optimizer as an ADAM itself. So I use optimizer as a ADAM. Okay, this is an algorithm. After that I need to give the parameter as a loss function. The loss function what I'm going to choose for this study is binary cross entropy. So I'll use a loss equals binary underscore cross entropy. Okay, so what may be the last parameter? Of course it is none other than the metrics, correct? So as of now I'm using only one metric to evaluate my model, that is accuracy. If possible, if you would like to use much more evaluation metrics to evaluate your model, then you can make use of sensitivity, specificity, or any other like precision score itself. So as of now I'm going to use only one matrix, that is accuracy. So I give it in this way, accuracy. Fine, so that's all. So this will compile the CNN successfully to optimize the loss function and the metrics. Okay, so what next? What we are going to do next? However, we have to train the CNN on the training set and evaluate it on the test set. So we do it as the first step is to take CNN object from which we will call a method called as fit. Okay, we do this, right? Fit method which will train the CNN on the training set. And the inputs what we take here is three parameters like training set, testing set, and the number of epochs. Okay, So to name the parameter, we simply give it as x to be our training set. So x, I will take the first parameter is a training set, that is this one, training set, which is in the pre-processing set. Just copy and paste it here as a first parameter, and I'm going to store it in a variable called as x. Okay, this is our firstmost parameter. What can be the second parameter? The second parameter will be the evaluation of the test set, that is validation data. Correct? So validation data, we assign it to the test set. So I write validation underscore data. Okay, so this will be assigned with the test set, which is done in the during pre-processing steps. Okay, and we'll assign the number of epochs to 25, but that is not a standard number. You can change it, the number, based on the use cases. So as of now I'm using 25 because in deep learning an epoch is a hyperparameter which is defined before any training a model. For each epoch the data set is passed both forward and backward through the neural network and ensures the accuracy of the model, right? So in our case I will assign the epochs to 25 as it gives me the pretty good results in this case. So that is the purpose I'm using it. Okay, so after this I came end to this part, and now I'm going to move a bit step forward to predict my model using single prediction. Correct? So now we are done with all the things, just left out with the few steps to end up this. So I just try to focus on the directory of single prediction, and after that we'll try to compile to predict our model. Okay, so to do this we have a dataset folder. As I already shown you, we have a dataset folder single prediction where we have a dog and a cat with the label cat or dog. 1 represents the dog, cat or dog underscore 2 represents the cat. Correct? So now we have to look forward to see whether our model predicts well in recognizing the cat or dog in a given image. Okay, so let's do it. Basically we will deploy our CNN now in each of this image, and let's hope to see that our model predicts well. Okay, so let's start implementing it. So before I proceed further, I need to import few libraries like NumPy, and I need a class called image from Keras library. So for that purpose I just write import NumPy as np, and I from the library Keras, okay, dot pre-processing, I just import a class called image. Okay, I require this for further purpose. Okay, so I just try to import this package, and through this we'll try to load that single image which we want to deploy. So which is that single image which we want to deploy? I just want this image to deploy my model, which is this image, cat or dog underscore 1. Okay, so remember that in the working directory you are given the path exactly as that of the data set where it is getting stored. Okay, if there is a mismatch with respect to that, you may get the wrong output. So now we have to load that single image on which we want to deploy our model to predict if there is a cat or a dog, right? To do this I create a new variable called as test underscore image. Okay, new variable, and load an image into the PIL formatter. Okay, so I do that using image, the class which I had already imported from the Keras library. Okay, and load underscore image. Okay, it is already there, and I need to pass the parameter. Be careful while passing the parameters. Okay, so that is the path where it is data slash what is the name of the folder. I just copy and paste to avoid mistakes. Okay, so I'll go through here, right? I just copy here single underscore prediction slash, done. Okay, and what is the name of the image? Let me see the property just to see the extension of that image. It is a JPEG format, so cat or dog or .jpg. Okay, so I just copy cat or dog, right, .jpg, done. So this is the first parameter, let me see the second parameter. I hope all of you know we need to set the size of the image. The target size what we have set already for the training and set testing was 64 cross 64. So I'll give the same target size 64,64. Done. Okay, now we have our first test image. So in order to be accepted by the predict method, now we have to convert that PIL format into an array, as it expects the input in a 2D array. Okay, that is why I had imported that package NumPy. So to do this, we have to implement a function called as image to array function, which actually converts the image instance to a NumPy array. So let's do that. So for that I required a same variable. Okay, same, because I just need to update it. Okay, test image is equal to, I just need to call this class. From this class, the method which I am going to import is image to array. Okay, you can see it here. And what is the parameter I passed? The same variable. So this will convert the PIL format into the NumPy array. So we get a 2D array format now, right? So this will update the test image into a 2D array image. Please to remember that the predict method has to be called with exact same format that was used during the training and during pre-processing the testing and training set, correct? So we actually created the batches of image, and therefore you know our CNN was trained on single image entering the network one after the other, but it was trained with batches of image. Even if we gonna have a one image in a batch, it needs to be in the batch, right? So now we just add an extra dimension which will correspond to the batch and which will contain that image in the batch. Just for that purpose, I just create a new function, or I call a new function which is called as expand_dims from the NumPy package. Okay, so this is the way I do. So I create a same variable, I just need to update, that's all. So test image is equal to np.expand_dims, np.expand_dims of test_image. Okay, test_image comma axis equal to 0. So let me tell you what is this axis equal to 0. The parameter will be the image to which you want to add this extra dimension corresponding to the batch, correct? The other parameter, what you can see it here, this is where we want to add the extra dimension. That is why it given axis equal to 0, so that the dimension of the batch which we are adding to our image will be the first dimension, correct? Now we can call the predict method by creating a new variable result. So I do it using result is equal to CNN dot predict of test_image, right? Done. So we are done with this, and now it's time to do that encoding work, correct? No, so the way to figure out what is 0 and 1, because our main objective is whether 0 represents 1 or the cat or a dog, or 1 represents a cat or a dog. So we need some kind of tricks to resolve this. So we have the trick actually. There is a class called as class_indices. That is an attribute from our training set which we need to call it. As of now, I'll just write the code that will allow us to know which indices corresponds to which classes. To get that information, we need to call that particular class. So I do it using training_set dot class_indices. Okay, this is what I do, right? If you try to print this, you will get the indices whether dog corresponds to 0 or 1 or cat corresponds to 0 or 1. So to display the output in the end, we will have to use some if conditions. So that is what I am going to write it now. Okay, so when I write if condition is written this way: if result of 0 and 0. So here the first index is a batch, this one is a batch, and the second index is the single element of the batch. This is a batch and single element in the batch. If I say if this equals to 1, okay, then I say it is a dog. Okay, On what grounds I'm telling it is a dog? Because I had executed it already, because when I use that class underscore indices, it is telling me it is a dog, because 1 represents dog and 0 represents cat. Okay, else it predicts to be cat. Okay, this is what we would like to have done. And finally we try to print and execute it. Okay, so that's all. This is how we had implemented our CNN to extract the pattern from an image and to classify whether it is a dog or a cat. Correct? So this is how we are done. Now it's time to execute one by one. Okay, so let me import all the libraries at the beginning stage. So I just type like this. Let me see, it is taking some time because TensorFlow has to work from behind. Let us wait for it, and later on we'll see, we'll execute line by line each batches. We will try to execute and we'll see the output. I hope all of you understand the procedure to import the package for the TensorFlow and Keras, which we had done in the Anaconda Navigator environment variables. So there are few other procedures also if you are using the command prompt or you are trying to install it using in the console. So there are many other procedures which you can get it via Google. So this is how I done in my Anaconda Navigator. So let's see. Yes, now we are ready. We are using the TensorFlow backend, so we are ready to proceed further. Now let me execute this line of code. Let me confirm myself it is executing properly. Yes, we are done with that. Now let us go to the training set. I think we are in the same path. Okay, I think we are in the same path. Yes, true. Correct. Okay, now let me just go to the path and execute this. So what this will do, this will try to connect it to the training path. Yes, excellent. We found 8000 images belonging to two classes. As you can, I had already shown you the data set. You can see that 4000 is the cat images and 4000 dog images, which is there in the training set. Correct. So the same thing has been given it here, and the same procedure we will follow it for the test data set also. We know that for this particular test data set we are applying only feature scaling. We are not applying any kind of image augmentation techniques to this, because we would like to test it with the real image. So we don't want to modify that image, right? So we are done with that, and similarly we will try to apply it to the test data set in the working directory, and we'll see what is the output we got. Yes, found 2000 images belonging to the two classes, that is cats and dog. 1000 image in cats and 1000 image for the dogs. Now it's time to initialize our CNN. Do not forget to initialize it, right? We do it using sequential class, and now it's time to add a first layer called as convolution layer. We do it in this way. We provided the 32 feature data test with the kernel size 3 x 3. The activation function was used ReLU, and the input shape was 64 x 64, which was the target size of the image, and the 3 belongs that you are dealing with the colored image. Now we'll add a max pooling layer to that. The different types of pooling layers are there. As of now I'm using max pooling with a pool size 2 x 2, and the strides was 2, because we shift the frames to 2 pixels towards right. Right, now we add our second convolution layer. Yes, we have successfully added our second convolution layer with the same size. Now we will apply the max pooling for the second convolution layer. Great, it got executed successfully. Now it's time to flatten the layer. So we'll try to convert all our convolution and pooling layers into a single dimensional vector, which will be the input for the fully connected layer. Right, now we would like to have a few dense layers with the hidden neurons, as we have selected 128 hidden neurons with the activation function of ReLU. After that, the final layer should be the output layer, which is the the dense layer, and the input the activation function given for the output layer was sigmoid, since we are dealing with the binary classification. In case if you deal with the multi-class classification problem, you can make use of softmax activation function as well, right? Now we are done with the CNN model. Now it's time to compile our CNN. Hoping for the best, it will compile properly. Yes, it's done. Now it's time for the great job that what we are going to do. It's epochs. So number of epochs what we are given to train our CNN model was 25. I think it will take around half an hour time to do this entire process. So I will pause the video for a few seconds, for a few minutes. After that I will resume my video once we are done with the epochs. So before I pause my video, I just would like to show you how it works at the very primary stage. Yes, it started with the first epoch. As you can see, the train for 250 steps. So how we got 250 steps? Why? Because we had taken the batch size as 32. Remember that, right? Batch size was 32 and we had altogether 8000 images, so 8000 by 32, which will give you 250 steps. So each and every time in single epoch 250 steps it is going to process for 25 number of times. So that much number of times we are going to train our CNN model, so that we expect a great accuracy later, right? So as you can see, it has started with the 24 steps has already been over. It depends upon the processor what you use. If you are having with the GPU, then it will take really around 5 to 10 minutes of time. Since the processor what I'm using is i3 and I don't have GPU, that's the reason I am expecting it to be half an hour time. So let me complete with the first epoch, and after that I'll pause my video and I'll resume it once it's done with the 25 epochs. As you can see, the loss is been calculated here, right? And accuracy is also, you can see the first time the accuracy is very less, 50%. Okay, so we'll get two accuracy, one with respect to the training set and another with respect to the testing set, and based on both you will also come to know the loss function is getting reduced, right? So we had used the binary cross entropy loss function. The optimization function what we used for the study was Adam, right? So let us wait for some time. First let me complete the first epoch. After that I will pause my video. You can see the accuracy is getting increased from 50% to the 52%. So I think we can get a greater accuracy when it reaches to 25. Okay, I hope in the starting of the lecture you had also heard me saying that to avoid overfitting we had applied all this kind of image augmentation process. So if you are not using this, also this CNN works, but you will be surprised to see the accuracy at the end. It will give you a very higher accuracy. In terms of training it will give you 98%, and in terms of testing it may even reach up to 70%. Okay, so this may lead to the overfitting or overlearning of the model. To avoid that, that's the reason why I had applied image augmentation or transformation techniques at a very primary stage of data pre-processing. Okay, so I will prove this once I end up with the first the complete epochs, the 25 epochs. After that I will let you know how exactly we had overcome the overfitting of the CNN, right? So that is how it works. Already we had come to 129 steps is over, so left out with only 15 steps. So let us wait for the accuracy. So after that we'll pause the video for a few seconds, or else I need to wait for half an hour. So we have 146. It will take some more time. So these are the number of steps which you need to follow. So I hope you understand, because I had taken a very simple data set. You can apply it to your own research work as well. And if in case if you don't have enough number of data, there is a concept called a data augmentation. You can make use of that. And if you apply a lot of transvections like different transformation techniques, you will be able to create more number of images. So that one procedure is also available in deep learning. This is only with respect if you have a very few sample amount of data. If you have large amount of data like 8,000, 10,000, then you need not to work on it. Else you require that kind of procedures to just to deal with the huge amount of data, because when we dealing with the deep learning, it's better you have a huge amount of data set so that your model will be trained properly, right? Yes, you can see that the accuracy is also getting increased here, 52%. Okay, we had already reached 200. I think it will take another 1 or 2 minutes of time to reach 250. So all these values are not actually standard. You can change the value for the target size. You can also give 256 cross 256 or 150 cross 150. Okay, depends upon the images what you select. Please don't rely on the same values what I had given it here. You can also change the values. There is no standard rules. Okay, even the pool sizes as well as the strides also you can change it based on your use cases. And even the ReLU to sigmoid or softmax also you decide for your research work what is best suited. Okay, I think we had almost reached our target number of steps. Yes. I think we are done with the first epoch here, so it's taking little bit of time to go for the second epoch. Let us wait for the, yes, done. So now you can see it has done with the first epoch with the accuracy of the model. For the training was 53.32 and for the testing it has taken 63.60. It's really great with a loss function of 0.6608. So in meanwhile, in the second epoch, definitely you can expect the lesser loss function as well as the greater accuracy in terms of training and testing. So it already has started with the second epoch. It will take another half an hour to 40 minutes of time to complete with all the 25 epochs. So I'll just pause the video for a few minutes until it gets over. After that, I'll resume my video. Until there, happy learning, guys. Thank you. Let me pause the video for a time. Welcome back. As you can see, we had already reached 24 epochs out of 25. Let us just go back and let us analyze the accuracy. In the second epoch, we had received 64.45% of accuracy comparatively to the training set 63.41. And meanwhile, when we gone ahead with the 10th epoch, we found 80% for the training and 77% for the testing, which is way better because this clearly indicates that there is no overfitting in the model. And as well as we went nearing to the 15th epoch, we found 85% in the training and 78.25% in the testing set with the loss function 0.51. Right, and you can also see nearing to the 20th epoch, we found that 90% accuracy we got for the training and 76.50 for the testing. Now with respect to the 25th epoch, last epoch, 24th epoch, we got around 92%, really great for the training set, and we got it for 78.85 for the testing set, right? So we are moving great, and now we have to wait for the last epoch. We had already reached 43 steps, now 250 steps we have to take it all together, and after this we are ready to predict our model. Okay, so let us wait for some time. Let me pause the video for some time. Welcome back. I think we are done with the epochs. Let us see the final accuracy for the training as well as the test set as well as the loss function. We'll see that yes, we are done with the epochs. 25 epochs already been taken successfully with the final accuracy for the training as 92% and for the testing is 79%. Not bad, but usually when I tested it previously, it gave me around 82%. but it's okay, it depends upon the data size, it varies. Okay, now we are done with the epochs. Now we will start moving further with the loading the image to the target size 64 cross 64, right? So we'll go ahead with the test image. This is in the PIL format. Done successfully. Now we'll convert it into a image to an array format, NumPy array, because we expect it to be in a 2D array format. So we'll do that for the same image. Yes, successfully updated. Now for the extra dimension, we had implemented this code and we will also execute this. Done. Now it's final stage to predict the image which will be stored in the result, right? So result at done, right? Now let us see for the as I told you already, there was a trick to identify whether 0 stands for cat or a dog. Just to know that, I just execute this and the output what I got is, yes, cats been designated to the 0 and dogs designated to 1. That means if I say 1, it should tell me it is a dog, else it should tell me it is a cats. Correct? Okay. So dogs or cats. Anyways, so we are done with this. Now that's the reason I written the if condition over here. If the result 0 0, as I told you, the first index is the batch and the second index is the single element of the batch, right? If that equals to 1, then it should tell it is dogs, else it should tell it is a cat. Let us see whether our model predicts well, because we got 79% accuracy, so we can't expect the same result always. So let us see, let us hope for the best. So let me execute this. So we are done with that. Let us predict our first result. Anyways, it has given me dogs. Yes, it's true, because you can see for the single prediction cat or dog 1, what does 1 represent? It's dogs. Excellent. Our model has recognized the image properly and it is telling it is dogs. Now let me just change it to 2 and let me see whether it is predicting, identifying the cats properly or not. So for that purpose I need to re-execute this line of code. Okay, done. Okay, now let me see whether I am getting the proper image or not. So let me execute all these things, or let me try with the print whether it works properly or not. No, I need to import all the things. Let me see. Okay, like adding the extra dimension to the image. Done. We'll store the predicted output in the result. Class indices already were tested. Now the last if condition to verify whether it gives cat or a dog. Let us predict. The first prediction was right. Let me do for the second one as well. So second output, it is not predicting properly. Maybe as I told you, the training set was giving around 92%. maybe a few mistakes might have happened. Anyways, it was giving right output for the first one, cat or dog _2. Let me see for the second. Okay, anyways, no, not an issue. Let me test it for some other type of data. So in the test set, let me take any cat or a dog. Let me take first dogs. Okay, any image I can take it from here, whichever. So you can take any image. Let me take any different image. Okay, let me try with this, because we can't see the face of this dog. Let me try with this. Let me try. Okay, CNN in the single prediction. I'll post it here. Okay, I'll give the same name. Maybe I'll go with this. I'll give it as 3, right? Okay, I'll give it as 3. So it has to identify dog. Let me see. Okay, now I'll give it as 3. Right, done. So I need to execute this line of code again, right? _3, right? Dog _3. Okay, done. Let me go for the second test image. You can try like that for many. Test image, done. Done. Let us save the predicted result in the result variable. Okay, now we are left with the last if condition. Okay, done. Right, now let us predict whether it is giving the right output or not. Yes, excellent. It is telling it is a dog, and this is a dog, right? Now we'll see for the different cats. Let us see if it is trying to able to identify the cat or not. So let me take any picture. Okay, let me take this. Okay, let me copy and paste it here, and I'll give this label as 4_4. Okay, cat or dog _4. So this should be identified as a cat. Let us wait. Let us see whether it predicts properly or not. So I need to change this to 4, right? After that, let us execute. Done. Execute all the lines of code what is given here. After that, final predicted output is the result. Verifying the if condition. Excellent, excellent. It is telling it is able to identify the cats properly, correct? In fact, it was a cat. So our CNN model is able to identify the pattern in a given image, and it is also able to classify them as well, correct? So this was a small try from my side, just to as a beginner, if anyone would like to explore CNN with respect to the feature extraction of the image, then you can just go ahead with this kind of things, and definitely you can explore more with respect to this. This is what I thought will be sufficient for you to start as a beginner. Okay, anyways, to conclude, let us see from the beginning. We have pre-processed the data sets with the data augmentation, having around 8,000 image belonging to 2 classes, dogs and cats, and also pre-processed the test set with the no image augmentation, which I had already mentioned you the reason behind it, correct? And applied only the feature scaling method, correct? Feature scaling method for 2000 images belonging to 2 classes. Then we initialized the CNN with the sequence of layers, and then we added a convolution layer pooling, where we applied max pooling to this first convolution layer, and we then added also a second convolution layer. At the same time, we applied max pooling as well, right? Then later we proceed to flatten the results of all the convolutions and pooling into a one-dimensional single vector, which will become the input for the fully connected neural network, which will contain only one full connected layer. And in the final step of the construction process of our CNN, we will connect all this to the final output layer, which will contain the final prediction. And this is how we build our convolution neural network. And later we also compiled our CNN with the best optimization algorithm called as ADAM, which will perform stochastic gradient descent in the best way, and binary cross entropy loss function, because we are doing with the binary classification and accuracy metrics as well, as that you had seen it, right? Then we also trained our CNN with the 25 epochs and evaluated it on the test set. So after doing that, we had seen the results, and it has predicted well, except for the one, it has given the rest of the outputs very properly, correct? No, because we had seen that in the epochs, the number of accuracy. The accuracy was around 92% for the training and 79% for the testing set, right? So definitely for few images it was not able to rectify it clearly, so you can consider this as one problem statement, just to increase the level of accuracy, just to identify the patterns properly in a given image. You can explore more on this, and thank you so much for your time and the patience. Thanks for watching, and keep learning. Enjoy machine learning. Thank you so much.